Hello and welcome to the University of Regina's Getting to Know You Our Science series. My name is Douglas Fernick. I am a professor of mathematics and dean of the Faculty of Science. In today's installment of the series, we are getting to know Dr. Andrew Chan, a laboratory instructor in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry. Andrew's passion for teaching has brought him to the University of Regina from the province of Ontario. His current work involves finding innovative ways to enhance the laboratory experience of students. I hope you enjoy getting to know Dr. Andrew Chan.
All right, I'm here with Andrew Chan here at the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, and we're just going to ask you a few questions today so people get to know you a little bit. If you could tell us a little bit about where you grew up and some of your background there.
I was born in Hong Kong, and then my family immigrated to Canada when I was pretty young, around 9, and we lived in Kingston, Ontario. So I considered, Kingston, Ontario, kind of the place where I grew up. And then I slowly moved west. So I went to Toronto for university, and then I lived out in Mississauga, Guelph, and then now I'm here in Regina.
So we know that takes a lot of time being a lab instructor, but we just wonder if you had any hobbies or any kinds of things that you like to do after hours.
Yeah, so actually I really enjoy cooking, kind of elaborate meals. So I look up different recipes, try to cook different meals. In the last couple of years, I ventured into preparing fermented foods. So making yogurt, making kimchi, kombucha, and so this summer. We're interested in actually making our own pickle. So we have some cucumber plants growing, and then hopefully we have a yield to make some pickles with.
What is some of the things that kind of got you into chemistry in the first place?
So I think I got interested in chemistry in high school. So I was taking biology, physics, chemistry. There is always a lab component associated with that. And I always thought chemistry was really cool because you got to wear a lab coat, you got to work in the fume hoods, and then you got to do really cool chemical reactions. So the one experiment that stuck out for me is called the copper experiment. And so you started off with a copper penny, you dissolve it in some nitric acid, so you get the brown nitrogen dioxide gas coming off as the copper metal dissolves into copper ions. And you get this, blue colored solution, and you would carry out a series of reactions with that solution, and at the very end, you would actually convert the copper ions back into copper metal. So I always thought chemistry was really, really cool, and that's sort of what I focused on in university.
Obviously, you accomplished a lot to actually be teaching here at a university, but is there any particular accomplishment that you're particularly proud of, say?
A couple of years ago, I trained and did a century bicycle ride. So basically, a century ride is riding 100 kilometers total. So it's similar to running a marathon. So it's just a goal that cyclists like to accomplish. So I planned and trained and actually did a century ride.
Now, being kind of first year chemistry instructor, you've probably had a lot of students come through here. Have any of them gone on to any notable achievements that you know of?
I've had students who I've taught in first year, and they're now graduate students, so they're doing their masters at the university. They're now helping me teach some of the lab courses. I've had students come to ask me about, what's grad school like? Can you write me a recommendation letter? I'm thinking about applying for grad school. So that kind of excites me when students want to continue with their chemistry education past getting their bachelor's.
As far as classes, you teach a lot of classes here at the university. Is there any particular class you enjoy teaching the most, or?
Right. So I particularly like teaching this course, or the lab course, for chemical kinetics. So basically, chemical kinetics, you're studying how fast a chemical reaction occurs, or what affects how fast a chemical reaction occurs. So as part of that lab, students actually get to design their own experiments. So they pick a chemical reaction that they're interested in studying, plan out the experiments that they're going to perform. They actually do it, and they prepare a poster, a presentation of the results, and explain the results to an audience. So it's a good experience for them instead of following a step-by-step procedures. They're now having to come up with their own procedure. Which is something that it's an important skill that they should learn or get experience with in their undergrad education.
Say a student is wanting to get into the field of chemistry. Do you have any advice for them?
The one piece of advice that I have for students is to not be afraid to ask your professors if you have any questions. Chemistry, depending on the topic, can be a little bit difficult, especially if it's your first time learning the material. And so professors are here to help students understand and learn chemistry concepts. And it's a way as well to get to know the professors a little bit. You can ask about what their research interests are, and it might be something where it's like, oh, I'm really interested in this. Maybe I want to do some research on my own, learn about what those topics are, and hey, this is something that I want to do for my career. And so it's really important to reach out to your professors if you have any questions. Don't feel that you have to figure it out on your own.
Now, as far as looking kind of into the future, do you have anything in the horizon that you have planned?
One of the things I'm looking towards is incorporating more technology into teaching the labs. So for example, providing videos for students to review on how to use a particular piece of glassware. And so when they come into the lab, it's like, oh, I've seen somebody use this before. I kind of know the general steps involved. So they're more confident and more prepared when coming in and performing the labs.
Well, I just want to thank you for meeting together, and good to hear a little bit of your background and some of the things that you're going to be doing. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here, Andrew. What is your least favorite chemical reaction?
Baking soda and vinegar.
So what is your favorite chemical reaction?
Baking soda and vinegar.